Togozani tribe, we are here, we are live. I hope you are tuning in from Facebook, from YouTube. Thank you so much for joining in. Ukokotinewo, as I said last week when we had Usandi, the numerologist, I hope some of you have booked your consultations. You're getting what your numbers mean so you can get the right kinds of people, you can get the right kinds of partners. So I thought, Uti, as a way to close off Valentine's month, the love month. What better way than to have a conversation with two sisters who are twins, in the pursuit of finding one husband. One husband. Some of us can't even share boyfriends. We can't even share our money. We can't even share our bed. No sharing a partner, a lifetime partner. They have been married previously to a somebody, and that marriage didn't last, but they still are realizing that this is a spiritual calling. I don't know how. That's why they're here, so that they can tell us. Tribe members, as you join, please remember to say hi to Rosa Coco, so I know that your signal is good where you are at. I'm not talking Gantinkumangiwani. And also do say where you are from, so language-wise we can be accommodative. So we're not going on in one particular language, then we have people who don't speak that language, so we have an idea. So I'm gonna get them to come in. Oh, actually, how I met them was at gym. So they gym together, they do TikTok videos together, they do everything literally together, like it's one person in two. Togozani. Thank you so much for joining us. You see, the first person who just said Togoza is Chrisma Love Within, and she's from Oklahoma. As I was explaining that, I do ask tribe members where they're from. Ukarabo Shlongwan is from Bloemfontein. So we've got people from all over. So we do use mostly English, but if English disappears, sometimes my English disappears in the evening. We just have to use a translator to explain so that we're not losing people in the conversation. So thank you so much for coming in. We've got Jax who's tuning in from Jamaica. Who knows? Maybe your husband is in Jamaica. Maybe you've been looking in the wrong places. This husband you're looking for is not from here. We've got Umkulu Dlamini from Belcom. We've got Usugi, so he's from Kabeja. So we've got people from everywhere. So thank you so much, and people are looking forward to this conversation. It's been a busy day. You guys look gorgeous.
Thank you so much. You too, Coco.
Yeah, all glammed up. I was even looking for my lipstick because I'm not used to wearing makeup. I'm from set, so that's why I have makeup on, but it's not. I don't know how to put it on. I know how to put it off, and I know it's a lot of work. I have to my face for 30 minutes to get all the makeup out because I'm from studio. We've got Erin from Limpopo. We've got Gijo from Pretoria. And Ntombenhle says Makosi Koko, my favorites. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Trap Member Ngiyabonga kakhulu. Yes, so let me start here. When did you guys realize that you must be in a relationship with one person? When did that moment happen for you? Like, when did you get like, no, angeke sijole no Opa, and then Omunya actually with Thomas, we gonna do Thomas together. When did that realization come?
I think in the teenage stage where you realize now which we need to have a boyfriend, because at that time, like, we were getting a lot of questions. It's okay, we can see you guys, you always together. So what if happened to omunye I date someone and the other one doesn't want the other one? Nizoyenza njani? We were like, no. At that time we were young. We were like, no, we will share. Like, it started as a joke. We will share. And then and then we realized, no, this thing, it's something that it's like a calling. And I always tell people, this thing didn't start with a man, it started with the apple. I remember our grandmother used to share this story with us, and that time I think it's where we discover Guti. we have this thing, because through our teenage we didn't have boyfriend, even in high school. So our ex-husband was our first everything, was the first boyfriend, first someone who took our virginity, both of us. So our grandmother used to say, "See, besilo bantwana who always like to share, even if we a packet of apples, but will prefer to take one apple to share into half. While I'm a apple corner." So I always tell people, a man, it's a cherry on top, but this thing started with the apple. If you can check apple while I'm apple corner, so it means it's not about the man, it's about this soul that is entombed in these two bodies.
Yeah. So I mean, I
Yes.
can even now, as I'm listening to you talk, one starts and the other one completes the sentence, right? And I always say, even now, tribe, I know the twins from gym, but I don't know who's always, I don't know who's oh, I always get confused. You dress in the same tights. It was actually the first time in your recent video where you were wearing pencil skirts, but you were wearing
Yes.
different colors for the first time, because I always see you in same colors, same tights, same sneakers. That's how it is. Um, so when you realize that with this guy, so tell us about the relationship with this guy. How old were you, and how did you guys get into it? When you got into it, were you already aware that we are gonna be with him together, or he went to one person and you said, no, I've got the other one, get two for one, buy one, those specials. Is that how it happened, or he came already knowing that you guys are one in two?
I think not. I think he knew what we wanted to marry the same guy because he was our mentor. Um, I remember we went to some restaurant because we are a drama student. At that time, we wanted to do practicals to certain show called like a show Mubango. So at that time, because we wanted to have someone also send the summer practical. So he said to us, you know what, after shooting, can we have some drinks, so that I can get to know you better? Okay, we were willing. And then he asked us questions. So, guys, as much you're dressing the same, you talk the same. I think there's a question while always she went into the bathroom, and then ngamphendula, and then when Olwethu came back, she asked Olwethu, okay, Olwethu, bengibuza usisi wakho this, I wanna hear ukuthi wena uzophendula uthini. And then Olwethu waphendula the same question that I answered him. And then we told him, Guti, Tina, we are inseparable twins. We wanna get married to the same guy. We're from City Varsity. We are actresses. We wanna be in television. We studied film. And then at that moment, he was interested. He was like, whoa, wow, I've never had Intweganje. Guys, I wanna marry you. No, he said, I wanna be your boyfriend. We said,
Okay.
that time we said, Tina, besina this thing, yoguti, umuntu ozoba boyfriend must be a husband, because of umthetho la esikhula khona, the beliefs that we had while we were still young. No, we can't jollaring, but we need someone ozosithatha ave sathi uyangena yabo ekhaya, because we had that thing special to us.
Oh, okay.
So I
So
think
you come from the Shembe church, right? So Eshembe. So can I ask this question? Eshembe church. So the
yes,
rule that you cannot date, you date to marry, does that
yes.
apply to guys as well? So even the guys are expected to date for marriage.
They supposed to do that thing, but they are abayenzi, because remember, bona you awukwazi kuya emhlangeni, bona baye emhlangeni, but now we have that thing yokuthi every month, or June and July siyohlolwa. So that's a challenge for abantu besifazane ukuthi funeka uyohlola ubheke ukuthi ilihlo lakho lisasekhona. Are you still intombi?
Yeah, you're still a virgin. That's quite interesting, right? Because I think this is sometimes, as much as I'm a spiritual healer and I'm a sangoma, but I have problems when certain traditions don't seem to hold men accountable, right?
Yes,
And I mean, Pride is actually asking here that is it possible that that guy, because you were still young, how old were you and how old was he?
that time we were 21, the guy was 42. Yeah,
Ah,
42.
this question is very relevant because Pride is asking, Guti, could it be that this guy actually took advantage of you guys because you were that young, you were excited, you wanted to get into, the entertainment industry, and you've never had, a boyfriend, you were still virgin, and I mean he's double your age.
Yes.
Could it be,
Yes,
or do you
I
feel like
think,
you're taking
yes, I
advantage of?
think, yes, I think he did take the advantage because at that time we were young and naive. Basing as anything about dating. He said, Magatigiti, I wanna marry you. Like for us, we were like, finally, this thing it's gonna happen in a good way. Yabo,
Mm,
the way our parents bafuna ngakon. But when we are in it, sibonile ukuthi no, the guy took the advantage because at that time we were young and naive. We didn't know anything about
mm.
dating, about umjolo, but like yeah.
Yeah, and when you look back as well, as people, we're gonna get to why you think this is a calling, because I know that you respect your traditions and you respect your
Yes,
culture, right?
yes.
But and you are very keen into getting into a polygamous relationship. But where do you think that also culture somewhat does not really help or protect women? Even when women are going into polygamous relationships, a man will come and like, yeah, it's my tradition, I'm a Zulu man or I am a Sutu man, and my forefathers have had more than one wife, and therefore my ancestors are now asking me to go have a second wife, and that gets imposed on the wife. Like, I'm coming and this is it, and you must just accept it. So where do you think that culture gets it wrong sometimes?
I think a culture sometimes it destroyed us because remember, as much as in emshadweni, we didn't have information about as much nizongena emshadweni ningamazi umuntu kuzoba khona ama-disadvantages whereby you are leaded to this marriage because remember we are pure, we are virgins, so we are excited ukungena emshadweni because ebazalini it's like you achieve a lot ukungenela emshadweni so kuyinto enhle kuyinto enkulu you made your parents proud of you, and at the end of the day there's ama-disadvantage whereby ukuthi I don't know this person. Yes, and culture ukuthi ingikhawatile because if we knew this guy, I don't think besizo phelela la esiphelele khona uyayibona leyo. So
Yeah.
sometimes i-culture misleader as abantu besifazane, especially I'm gonna talk about abantu, a young black child, abantu besifazane, because even lento yentombi if uyibheka it's not fair to us ukuthi ungene emshadweni umuntu ongamazi uyayibona leyo uthi mosomazi ubona ubuyena ubona sekungasuloyo muntu you thought he is uyayibona leyo nto.
Mm. I think what you're saying is it's true that you then are forced to just get into marriage.
Yes.
What if this thing doesn't work? Did his thing work? I'm
No.
just exactly. What if his
Yeah.
tool is not working? Angisho phela we need to be sensitive with language.
Yes.
But
Yes.
and when now ungena emshadweni, you haven't really tried. What if he's got anger issues? Because you haven't given time to get to know this person. I'm gonna come to Aaron right now, who's asking a question. But let's speak about then, what did you start to know about the person once you were married, and how long in the relationship
I
was it?
I think after 2 weeks we found out he was married. He had a lot of kids because and by that time besekafikile ekhaya sekalobolile uyayibona leyo nto sekavelile
Lobola
negotiation went well.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I'm saying that after the 2 weeks he paid Lobola, then
Yes.
the skeletons came out of the closet. Okay, yes, he
Yes.
was married.
Yes, and then he said to us, Beganga Shatang, he's not married. He has a lot of kids.
How
So
many?
a lot nje beseziphuma because at that time they say ukuthi nathi sekavelile ekhaya. We don't have anything to say because now he's our husband. So we rather take the baggage azanayo and sambe nayo. Because at that moment, even if noma sekuthiwa those things came up sesiphakathi, bebazothi sizibalekelani. Why are we running away from the baggages? As a woman, you need to take that baggages because now you are his wife. Yes.
Yeah, no, I think it's again you guys, explaining the disadvantages of culture sometimes towards women. So Aaron is asking a lot of questions here, and he says, "Can you please take us through the advantages of and disadvantages of sharing a man as sisters? So what has really worked and what hasn't really worked for you guys?"
Let us start with the advantage or disadvantage. I'm a disadvantage. It's when a man sometimes will love always
or pay attention
to always and then won't pay attention to me as Owami. That's a disadvantage because at sometimes it sends we'll question this guy loves always more than me. Do I force myself to be in this relationship? But at some point, because we are the drivers of this relationship, we'll tell the guy, but you know what, you need to balance us because now it's like the other one is feeling like is left behind. It's like she's forcing to be in this relationship. So we always tell people, Luguti, we are the one who teaching umuntu wesilisa ukuthi how we wanted to be treated like. So because remember, not all men will come to this relationship knowing what because Tina, we have the experience of this thing. We are the one who say, okay, we're going to drive this car and you're going to listen to us, not listen as disrespect, but listen with and I always telling people, if you come to this relationship, if you didn't know how to solve X, even to this one, it's going to confuse you because there's a method in solving X squared. What you do on the left and right side, you do on the left hand side in order to get your answer. But when you fail this right hand side, it means the whole answer is going to be wrong. So it's like mathematics, this thing. If you can't do that thing, is then.
And the advantages? So the most thing is when they're starting to give, attention. And what about bedroom issues? Because a man can only get it up once, right? So he gets it once.
No, we never had that problem. We've never experienced such in bedroom because that's why we are saying we are the drivers. Even when we do threesome, I'm sure because we have a point of reference now. We know how to lead. We know how to do this because remember, we have so to us now it's like a second nature. Everything we are doing, even if they can pass now, because we have a point of reference. So this bedroom, we've never had such experience, a bad experience. We know that there's the active one. There's one who's like, no, I'm not into. Yeah, like hands. There's a hand that is working fast and so we've never had a challenge in a bedroom. Like the rest isn't number 4.
When you came to my show on Google, I was shocked because I was like, okay, I see that you're sharing a husband, but you're gonna sleep with the husband in the same bed. So it's you this side, it's you, it's always you Owami and the husband in the middle. There's no privacy.
No, we prefer that thing because if you see camera, I'm gonna ask myself which buy-ins and so young kids are even in the same bedroom because even that thing happened to our ex-husband. So that's why it's everything with SCNZ in the previous, it's a point of reference to us. And remember, that time we were still young and naive, but we managed to do it. So this time, since Badala, we have an experience, so we know how to maneuver and balance.
Yeah.
We
Well,
know
yeah.
that we need to share.
Sharing is caring. Hey, in that way, I'm not sure, guys. If somebody says vele vele, threesome nendoda yenu. Yeah, 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 yeah. So let me speak to Jax. They did speak. It was not an arranged marriage. They consented to the marriage, but they were obviously taken advantage of because their ex-husband was almost 20 years older than them, and they come from a cultural background that you can't date. You date for marriage. So the things happen too quickly. So I'm just answering because you started with that story. I know you've got 2 kids, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes, I've seen your girls because they come to gym as well. And Mackenzie's asking that so if you get a set of twins, let's say not the girls because they are from the same father, but they're not twins, right?
Yes.
Will you be okay with the knowledge and your experience? Will you be okay with your kids going into saying we are wanting to be in a relationship with one husband? Let's say either one of you, and
Yes.
not her. You have twins, you know.
Yes, I think Mina as OM I'll agree because if it makes them happy, if they do it because they love it and they enjoying being in that cycle. So who I am, ubani mina engathi, don't do it while mina I did do it. Because I always tell people ukuthi even this thing of ours science, ekhaya singamaXhosa, we don't know anything about practicing polygamy. But if ngingayibuyisela back ukuthi owami no-olwethu ukuze bayiqale lento akukho la esayifunda khona, akekho umuntu owasifundisa. So that's why I'm saying if into abantu ibayenza happy, even abantwana bethu labo, we can't say no, don't do it, because even ekhaya, even abomalume bebalwa ukuthi no, we don't do such thing, but we said this thing makes us happy. So you can't nisivalele umnyango because amaXhosa they don't do polygamy.
Also, your family. So this is not like in your family you've seen
No,
people.
it's not.
You the first in your family to say
Yes.
Yeah, but they're wrong. Xhosas do get into polygamous marriages. Maybe you are a resurrected great ancestor. You know, as you speak about this thing of yours, you don't take it just as you are wanting one husband. You said it's the cherry on top. Welcome to the new tribe members. Some people missed the first part of the conversation, so I might have to remind them of the things that we've said.
Okay.
How is this a calling though? I'm trying to understand that you say it's a spiritual calling. How is it a spiritual calling? Because we know that callings are here to help us heal, to make things better. How is that helping? Yeah, maybe sizeni lapho ke ukuthi nibizwe yini kubizo lento ukuthi you must share.
The reason we're saying this is a calling, you know, the life that we are living, it's like Sikesai we have lived it before once upon a time, but we don't know when. But it's like a second nature because Mauzoti, someone would say, calling ganjan, there's something that is living emzimbeni wethu. Yonke into eyibonayo, we are not amazed as inyama, but yona iphilile before umoya, the spirit thing that did like iphilile. I should remember when we talk about calling, sikhuluma ngento kamoya. Yes, spiritual. So that's why even when we have the title here, what they say, a living soul in tongue, we sikhuluma ngomoya lo ukuthi even if noma uhlolela umuntu awumhloleli ngokwenyama, umhlolela ngokomoya. So this thing that is living inside us, umoya, it's a soul that is trapped in these two bodies. Because sometimes I will make an example. That time we were conceived, owami waconceived by April, mina ngo June. when we go to our periods, we go same time, but kuzoshiyana ngani ngekhathi, maybe 4 o'clock, 4:30. So as much we study this life,
so you and Olami were not born on the same date.
we were born on the same day.
Our kids.
Oh,
She's
your
talking
kids.
about our
Oh.
kids. Yes, I'm talking about our kids, Uluthando noLwana, because they share a year, but 2 months apart. So this thing here, we're not talking about the body here. We are talking about the soul that is trapped. That is trapped, because even sometimes I will make an example. I will wake up with a dream. So you can tell this thing, it's not about inyama, because I always tell people inyama is just a bodysuit of the soul that is living inside us. So if when you have a calling, I have to put in don't umoya kubo okwazi ukubona indaba zami hayi inyama. So other people will say, what if owami ashona nizoyenza kanjani? Remember, inyama ezobishonile, but not the soul. Isoul le trapped in these bodies. Izobe isaphila, izobe isaloku iphila in these bodies that etrappeke kuzo.
Sure. But also people don't know, that's why actually in our culture we've got rituals when one twin passes before the other, in order so that the body that is gone does not take the other body with, right? Because the soul, the body dies first and the soul next. So in that transition of the soul dying, the soul doesn't think it needs to kill the other body, right? So even in ancient times, twins were killed because they would say that there are one soul, just different bodies. So what you are saying, and I mean, I hope track members, this is, I mean, I did say we're going to have an intriguing, and it's challenging our belief systems and what we've been taught. But from what I'm hearing you say and how you've come to the acceptance of what you need to do, it's no longer about just feeding the flesh, right? Because people are asking, are you not insecure? Is this not going to be jealous? Somebody said, when you are sleeping with your sister, is that incest? I don't think they said that
No,
yes.
we don't even touch each other. We don't even kiss each other.
Yes, you see, that's the assumption.
The man.
Yeah, yes, you see, so that's the assumption people are making, and I think it takes a lot of courage and bravery, because first you guys are to challenge your own family. Saying, well, they say there's no polygamy. You're like, well, this is what we want. This is what is gonna make us happy. And the second layer is like, okay, but you can't do it as sisters, right? With one person, because it's not right. But we also know traditionally, kunento ukuthi uyangena umuntu. So bayamngena. So when a husband passes away, the brother who is not married will take the wife, because they needed to maintain the family name and the family cultures and values. And similar, when the wife passes away, the sister would then go and be the wife. So it wasn't effective. Now this man can really move on and find something else, because they needed to preserve family values and cultures, and to ensure that the kids who were born from that relationship do not have some total stranger coming to raise them, but they are familiar with, that's why we don't have, there's no direct translation for aunt. English says auntie, uncle. We don't have those. We actually, I'm going to say this to my tribe members who are in the diaspora, not in South Africa, and don't understand the cultural contexts of things, so that you can understand this. In our language, for example, your mother's sister is called mamngani, right? So mamngani starts with ma, meaning that it's my mother, it's my other mother. Even and your mother's elder sister is called mamkulu. It's still ma is the prefix that is used. So everyone in the family who is a sibling of your mother is regarded and respected, and the relationship interaction is such as this is your parent. we did not have the thing of cousins. Your cousin was umzala, meaning the one whom we share the same bloodline with, right? Even with ubaba, it was babumncane or babumdala. There's a term baba, meaning that your brothers, your father's brothers were seen as your fathers. So we were raised, it doesn't happen that much anymore, but we were raised to understand that our uncles had the same role as our fathers would have. Our aunts had the same roles as our mothers would have. That's why even in our culture, we'll say that, you know, ayukindandani in Africa. We don't have orphans because it takes a child to raise a village. This whole thing of children would be raised by a nuclear family, by just the mother and the father, it's a thing that's a Western concept. And that's why we are also struggling with so much trauma, and we don't know how to deal with trauma because we are expecting two people to take a responsibility of this whole human being who's very complex. I mean, if you listen to people like Dr. Mate Kapo, you listen to Dr. Bruce Perry, they make reference to indigenous cultures, you know, such as, you know, South American cultures, Asian cultures, and African cultures where children were raised in the community. I was breastfed by my mother's younger sister. So me and my sister, we are not from the same mother. She has her own mother. I have my own mother, but we are 1 year apart. But at that time, we were months apart. My mom tells me that I was breastfed, and I kind of think that I had more milk from my aunt's boobs than, you know, because my connection with her is that deep. I don't refer to them. Yes, sometimes I can say mamngani, but I normally say ma, you know, or when she speaks to, she would say my child. But we shared the same. When my mom was not there, my aunt will breastfeed me. When my aunt was not there, my mom would breastfeed my cousin. Even growing up with my cousin, we were very close. We were like siblings. It's just that people started to treat us differently because we had resemblances, but we're not the same. You know, so it's so interesting what you're telling me, and I think it takes courage, you know, I mean, to stand firm irrespective of the criticism. So you've had some questions, but what are some of the hard things or the criticisms you had to deal with from us as people, ordinary people, not your family, but especially when you had a reality show, because then your story was out there. You know, TV is not a nice place. Twitter was out. People were saying things. What were some of the horrible things that you had to deal with because of what you were called for?
You know what, Coco, you know, people are bully out there. You know, if you can be weak to what you believe in, people, they can destroy you. But if you stand firm to what you believe and what makes you happy, then people will see, which, you know what, sithatha ma chance here. Even today, people, they bully us, but they can see, which, no, these twins, they know their story. They believe in what they are believing. For us is to accept them, or we just block them, we leave them live their life. Because even today, people, they are still amazed and say, but the life that you are doing, it's a fake life. We'll say it's a fake how? Because we are doing what makes us happy. Every day when we wake up in the morning, there's a smile. We know how to explain our story to our daughters, to say we are sharing everything. So you get abantu who if ungekho strong, they will bully you. But if you are strong, you say, I believe in this, and this yinto engenza ukuthi ngibe happy, then they will adjust. And then bagcine accept you who you are, because they see, which, no, this person, she's living her life. Actually, we need to accept, because yes, it first South Africa kuthiwe kunama 20 abafuna ukushare yonke into. But till today, kunabantu abathi we're not gonna accept who you are, and we are not here ukuthi abantu they need to accept us. We are just sharing, or we're not here
to justify.
ourselves or need confirmation to people who just accept us. We are here living our life. Ukuthi ke ipaparazzi seyizile because they were so amazed in Pilesi SCP. And I always tell people ukuthi if into doesn't shake you, it means akakakulungisa. Into ifuneka kube ama negativity eze kuwe just to make you strong, to make your foundation to be strong, because this thing started sasebancane. Leave them, they will understand themselves.
They will grow.
When they grow up. Sina 34 now, we're still saying we want to get married to the same guy.
Wow. So that's deep. It's been there and people have said things, but you know, like I'm saying, is there a time where something was said and you were like, flip? I remember there was a time, because when I went into mainstream media, people will call me a devil worshipper. You know, I Jesus, and what I'm talking about in terms of African spirituality is blasphemy. I'm misleading people, even to a time where people said, yeah, no, you know, she probably is a cultist. You know, I run a cult, because if I tell people come run and eat snakes, they will do that. What powers am I using to have radio stations and all of that? And that I could deal with, because like you said, that I didn't need consent from other people. I'm not a community project. My calling is not a community project. So I didn't need them to consent, to validate, or to sign off on the work that I was doing. Very confident. But this is what happened. In 2029, I get a message. Actually, I think it's Boiti who sent me a message and said, hey, Coco, you are trending on Twitter. Have you seen some of the things? Please don't respond. They're not nice. And of course, when somebody sends that, you have to read. It was some of the most horrible things that were said, right? Like, you know, they would even say, Yabona Umsu, you know, we institute. They call me the Woolworths Gogo, you know, because you know, Utanda Iwulwes the Gucci Gogo, but she's fake. She's not even qualified. You know, she doesn't know what. No, somebody said she's not qualified. She's a witch. But what started to hurt the most, because then I was like, how do they know that I love Woolworths? You know, how do they know certain intimate details about my life? So when I found out this information was a story being told by a former initiate of mine, who I went from, you know, Cape to Cairo to make sure she finishes. And that broke me. And then I was told that there's a whole block that she's written, like giving us names, you know, even I've built my house with the 50 rands that they would pay as a fine when they would misbehave. So that really was heartbreaking. Then the person who was pushing a narrative was someone who also didn't finish their training with me, left. And you know, once they got their PhD, they left, and was basically saying, you see, I've been telling you about this woman. And at the same time, she was promoting her event. So what hurt the most is like, how can people who call themselves healers be so vicious? Because these, like, they were vile. Like, I'm saying that it was okay if it was said by random strangers, but what hurt, these were my colleagues, right? These are people who I assumed they were trained with the ethics and the morals that I was trained in. These are people that I thought when they hear things, they will be able to say, hey, Coco, you know, we hear this, what's going on? And then it even hurt more when some of the people who I thought were my circle of people I entrusted as elders around my media work were starting to question me. And I was like, they don't know me. You know, like, Coco, is this true? And my consultation fee went from 1,550 to 7,000. And then my initiation fee went from 10,000 to 300,000, like ridiculous amounts, and it went on and on. And unfortunately, you know, the lawyer I was dealing with told me that don't respond, keep quiet, because if you do, it will gain traction. But it was there for over the weekend. I got calls from Sunday World. I got calls from Swashi. Gogo, we sing that, and it's for the first time, because I never really expected. I thought all I was doing in mainstream media is to teach people, right? And I remember one who said, I hate her guts. Every time I stop listening to that radio station, I switch off the TV, and everyone that follows her, I block them. This is a healer. My fellow Sangoma, very educated, somebody who I would have least expected to be like that. And when later on I investigated, it was actually, you know, Abantwana of a Gogo who came before me and that I respected as a Sangoma. Like, how is that possible? So what I'm asking is that, has there been a time where for you, you were like, okay, people can bully, I'll have to be strong. But has there been one thing that was said or somebody who you didn't expect, and that one almost made you question that, Yazin, maybe what we're doing is not right?
I think
Yeah, no, there is. You see, they're consulting each other. They're consulting each other if they can share the story. That's what's happening. But your connection is incredible. Look, automatically you went into each other because you both know. But the amount of respect in which you are showing, I really love it. So I said this when you came to Puo and Tribe. I hope you can see this, that Uoletu and Owami are not just speaking to try to convince us, but in so many little gestures, you show that actually you are respectful and are one of each other. Even when you say, when you get a husband, you need to show them how to take care of you, like how you just tend to each other. And you do that quite often when you're like, so please give us the scoop. So what was the thing? What happened?
I think there was a time that we went to a certain channel. We were invited at that time, and we knew Uguti, that spiritual person will challenge this thing. But Masi Beg and some, they were like, you know what, go, so that people, they can understand which there's a negativity and there's a good thing, that there's a bad. And then we went there on the national TV. She said to us, you guys, you must start to separate from each other. Your ancestors are saying separate. We were like, they even said go and pick and take the dictionary and look the word separation, and we must and then that thing trended like nobody's business, because at that time people, you know what, guys, separate, because let any pillar, it's a lie. And then it started trending. Even today, people are still saying, but this spiritual person said to you guys, start to separate. But we were like, no, we knew. And Gogo, at that time we went to that show, we knew. I even told you, I said, let's cancel this interview. I told no, let's go, because it's goes over a challenge, and this challenge might break you or might build you. Yes. But if you are strong, you can go to that show. So I told you, and said, let's cancel this interview. Said, no, because I'm an ancestor. So I was telling, let's just go. So even today, people will say, but this person said you must, because separate. People believe in that person.
I think I know who you. I think I have an idea now when you're speaking.
Yes. So, but Mina, I was glad, through all, isn't there the corner? We'll get challenges. It's up to us. How do we take that thing? Even today, when people, they say, you know what, but this spiritual person, because we believe in her, said you guys must find a way that say, separate. And you did read it on national TV. Yes, we were supposed to read it, because separation said, always to go and take your route and one. But we don't believe in that thing because I always say, Gogo, if our ancestors didn't agree to this or approve, we'll have a lot of challenges. They gave us two beautiful kids. They everything like practically. Yes, other people abantu ukuthi babone cherry on top, but yonke into esiphila, the life that we are living, it us nathi
It's so
fascinates
amazing.
because sometimes not we ask ourselves, are we living real, or sometimes we we question ourselves, but we don't have answers because silalela lento ephila kithi. So
That's
like Leonto nearly destroyed us,
And the name.
but because we are strong and we've got a spiritual guide that is strong, always will tap our shoulder and say, we are doing this. We wanted to show you good. There's nothing that can break you, girls.
You know what I love about you as well is that you consult your ancestors before you take things on. Secondly, is that you do understand that being a Dlozi child, it's not always gonna be greener pastures. You're gonna be challenged for your growth. And thirdly, you don't take what everybody says about you because they're prominent or because they're known or because they're popular. And I think with your story, you do reveal that there's always blind spots in the work of healers. Just because I'm Koko Dineo, it doesn't mean what I see is supposed to be. People must learn that. When people see things, just because I'm saying it on national TV and the last 10 people I've said things about them, they did as I pleased, people forget that people are people. Especially spiritual healers, we've got what we call spiritual egos. You know, especially with the two of you, where we are trying to prove a point of how powerful we are, how smart am I? I'm gonna come here and start to tell you about how Rosie is not approving by using some of my wisdom, but that is actually unwise because intelligence and wisdom is not the same. And I think people undermine your wisdom because they think they know your intelligence.
That's true.
You might not be intelligent, but you are wise. And that's something that I need to applaud you of. And that's why I love you so much. Every time you speak, I'm like, every time I get a confirmation myself, as Ukoko Dineo Guti, these two people are living in their calling. Whether I approve, whether I agree, whether I consent, it's not my calling. So I cannot say we must not judge, but when it's something that is outside my comfort zone, I'm judging. You know, which is what we always do because you're not harming anyone here. Who are you harming?
We're just living our life to the fullest. And one thing Abantabang I recognize, Uguti, they must learn that we love each other no matter what. The men cannot separate this thing. This thing is bonded by birth. This thing. So Unogotabantu, they must take it in a positive way. They take it in a because there are a lot of people abangazwani with their siblings, but we are practicing it and we are enjoying it. And sometimes Amayama twins will get DMs, but oh, I'm not always to sifundiseni nenza kanjani. We can't explain that to those twins. But how do you do it? Tata la uhlangani. If ingavumi, don't do it. We're not here to promote this thing. We just living our life to the fullest, and we don't say even upcoming twins abayenze because we get a lot of DMs ama twins afuna ukuyenza lento but asayahluleka. And we can't even say sayiqala kanje because we can't explain that to people ukuthi sayiqala kanjani this thing. But this thing is about love. People into bekumele ngabayafunda the way we love each other, the way we embrace each other, the way we support each other. But they don't look those things. Why indoor? Why they are sharing? It's not about the men. There's a lot of things that we are sharing. We go through emotional together. We console each other. When we go to our periods, sometimes we like love. We are here to show people there is something that is called love. And that's why the third part, naimele agwazi tanda, because we know how to love.
Wow, this is really powerful. So there's one person that said they miss you. I think it says some, so I don't know if it's Sam or Sama. I can't assume. I miss you guys. When is your next season coming? You can tell us about that. And then Upaisi says, hello, as an African American. Okay, Bega, sing it to Coco. I need to see you. Let me write them here. You can see them. Hello, as an African American, I appreciate the learning regarding family titles. This is so beautiful for me. And yeah, that's why I said I'm not sure, Guti, because I can't even see the picture. I miss you guys. When is your next season coming? And then we've got another comment that says, yeah, Gogo, thanks again for your channel. Keep going. I've learned something new and understanding their calling very well as spiritually gifted people. So you're opening a lot of people's eyes, right? You are really opening a lot of people's eyes, that even my eyes, because I think in the beginning I was like, Mzansi. But I've learned to be a student of life. When you are a student, that's how you become a master. Masters are not made from I know, they made from I don't know. And no, I'm trying to get Utum saying they remind you of so much of me. Dumi is my friend, so she's listening, and I do see myself in you. How you do things, the way you respect things, how you follow things. So when is season 2, Vele?
Yeah, as we've got challenges. We won't lie to people, to our
we
fans.
won't go into deep.
We have a challenge with the production. Remember, Coco, this thing that we are doing, it's who we are.
It's our concept.
It's our concept. If I come to you and say, Gogo, this is who you are, and say, okay, guys, I'm going to assist you. You need to assist us, knowing what this is who they are. It's not something that we tell our scripted to put. Okay, Nina Matwinti, sifune ni acting at ni day one. So for first season, we were robbed our lives. We felt like we sell our soul. Yes. So season 2 was promised, but we had a lot of challenges whereby our production did us very, very wrong. Production, even today, we still not seeing in the same eye. So season 2 might not come, might come. We don't know. But as much we are saying, this is our legacy. This is who we are. We can't sell this for being famous. We can't sell this because we are doing this because and the but if people, they won't respect that thing and say they're going to benefit in this thing, Tina benefit, we rather not just do anything and just live our life.
Yeah, you see, Tumi says again, because Tumi knows my story. He says, see, exactly like you. I stand for those principles. Do not sell your soul to the devil just because you're seeking fame. Fame comes and go, legacies stay forever. Build your legacy. And I remember when I first met you guys, I said, keep at your social media platform, because there'll be people who are going to take from you what is authentically from you, because we also know that actually TV work doesn't pay as much as people think it does. But if they give you millions, once you lose your soul, you can't buy it back. It's gone. And what you have, look at how radiant you are, how happy and joyful you are. Then you sell your soul, then you end up getting into even worse things, which is where people are wanting to profit from people's lives who really like, because you're going to end up into drugs, alcohol, because now you are empty. What you were has been that somebody was asking, you need to live separate life. I fear that the day one passes, God forbid. Marapitori, they answered this. They told you that there are one soul in separate body, in two bodies. If one body dies, the soul continues to live on, and let them cross that bridge when they get there. They're not dead yet. What if they're gonna die together? I mean, they go on their periods around the same time. A lot of things, they have one dreams and they wake up. So I'm just gonna be like, hey, unkulunkulu nabapans, the day they say you've served well, probably it will be you've served well for the two of you. And if not, one has to push the legacy, so be it, because then we're gonna fear paralyzes us, right? It doesn't move us in any directions. And you're right, you said that you've seen things that are happening. You're not only relying on that production, because that was not a thing. You went into it to teach people, right? To become
Yes.
teachers.
Yes.
Untla says, I love how they back each other up. Me too. I just love this. And I know that you can't teach people how to get into a polygamous relationship, but I think consider teaching people how to have sibling relationships. One of the problems we have are, despite of our culture, our race, our backgrounds, we all struggle to relate. And I think you guys relate so well. And I think what the other twins are really yearning for is teach us to relate. So before you can even teach them how to in a relationship with somebody else, show us. So we need workshops, we need things where you guys can teach us about how have you made your relationship work. What is it about the sisterhood? Because I do know probably you don't agree on something, you disagree, but you have kept the love alive. Love does not mean there's no fights, there's no disagreements. I think that's
Yes.
something that you really need to consider, teaching us how to be in better relationships with our siblings. So and yes, you also started, you've got a book. Please show us your book, tell us about it, because I think there's more into that book than the story. We can't capture the whole story.
Yes, yeah, we have a book, A Living Soul Entombed in Two Bodies. It's too detailed because ezinye izinto sizikha phezulu. So it tells you about when did this thing started. So everything, yonke details ilana, like here in this book we are very naked. Like sikhiphe yonke into the way iyenzeka ngakhona, and it's about it's an educational book. It's not about you will always read about the men and the threesome. No, it's an education. There's a lot of things that we went through. So as abantu, they think, oh, labantu laba maybe baphile impilo in a silver platter. So we went through a lot in life. So zonke lezi zinto zikhona la encwadini.
Yeah, so actually, this is a book where we get to know what the soul is, because it's one soul trapped into two bodies. So for us to further understand, and where can people get it?
Amazon, yeah, Amazon. Even to us, we also sell it social media. They can go to our social networks, which is twice as nice _ TikTok and Instagram. Yes.
Yes, okay, that's cool. So what I will do is that I will post it. I think what I need to learn now, because this is new technology, is how to link your bios on this. One of my one person in the US who invited me to be a guest told me that they're gonna show me. So I think I'm gonna take it up where I can actually say even here link to bio so people can follow you on social media. And I love your content, from gym to dance videos to actually showing us how you're living your life. And I think you're doing great. Anything else that's coming is gonna be a bonus. So if a TV show comes in, let it be a bonus, but it can't take away from already what you are doing. Because I see you, even when you gym. I was watching you the other time and I was telling my husband, hey, babe, you know what, how they gym? Like this one where gym are active and immediately no matter stop. So like guys, I've experienced the twins, like even at gym. So we were in class the other day and then we're doing Enminangi one. So Olotu is busy kicking asahambe. Ungamshiyi umakhelwane. Don't leave your name. But it's the two of them and it's only one of us. Then when one is tired, the other one can pick up where the other one has left off. Yabona? So this thing of it is actually one soul trapped in two bodies. I've seen it. I'm like, hold up. Here I am and trying to keep up with these two bodies that are one soul. It's really difficult because one stops, but is talking, and immediately the other one starts. I was like, okay, this is really fascinating. Um, so I think there was somebody who asked me to repeat the thing about intelligence and wisdom. It actually reminds me of when I go on shows and I'm interviewed, because today I'm interviewing people. And I was speaking like, slow down, Coco, man. You can't be throwing bombs and pretend you didn't see anything that is life-changing, because I'm also, as a Coco, just living my life. I say what comes at the time that it comes. But what I said is that I wanted to, let me say something. I think we were talking about that show where, a prominent a spiritual person said you must separate, and it trended, and you're still being asked for it, because I was asking which moment in your life where you thought, as in maybe we must really live separately. And I said that sometimes people undermine people can undermine you because they think you are not intelligent, but you are wise, right? Because intelligence, people can be very intelligent and not be wise, because intellect does not mean somebody's wise. Wisdom is built through experience, and you've experienced this from when you were still kids with your grandmother. You went through a whole lot of things in your life. That's why people must go buy the book and read the book, so that they can understand that this is how you have become wiser. This is how you've become adamant of, we are going to be in a pursuit of one husband. And I do know that actually, even with one husband, you are happy to go into a relationship where there's already another wife, right?
Yes, you do.
But there's another person I saw and you didn't respond. I'm like, is this Mam Kulu? Have you found someone? Are you there?
Yes, we
are
are
there,
there.
there. That's the pitch there. That's a single. But this one that we are seeing, it's been 7 months. We are happy. We are happy. He understands us. He understands our calling. He's always there. And one thing I like about this one, he's not old. Standard said so. Kuna that vibe. Kuna that thing, man.
Yami, kufanele banibone menijayiva lapha nenza izinto zakhona.
Yeah, so this one we are seeing, he's the one. And Goko, you're going to listen to him. City, sometimes more toilet something that is precious, you need to protect it until you see what this thing now can I reveal emhlabeni, because there's a lot of energies, bad energies, there's a lot of forces. So we are trying to hide it until abangathi uyakhula lo mntana, and then masekakhulile khane ke simreveala sithi now.
But not it's 7 months. I think sekakhulile or
No, yeah.
Yeah, you see, even in the disagreement, they disagree to agree. That's true. Well, we can't wait to see the bay that's gonna come. I can't wait to be the minister. By the way, ngumfundisi and ngisangoma. So ngizovele ngimshadise Mr. Tasipoko kana kukhulu. You get all in one in Kokodino. When I officiate your wedding, you get both the partnering stuff featuring Mkulu's music. I kuzoba rough. Sizabe sikhona sikhathi. Kuzoba lithi fanele silungise ama-makeup artists abe ready sizoshada kube mnandi. Yeah, no, it's been incredible, and people say keep it up, twins. We love it. It's beautiful. Indeed, love conquers all. Okay, I'm gonna write them so that you can see them on the screen, so that you can continue doing it, so that you know that irrespective of the negative, there's a lot of positive, even from my tribe. And this is what I love about my tribe members. We know that even though we don't understand, we don't ask to judge, but we ask to understand. Always ask to understand, not to prove a point, not to prove you're right and the other person is wrong. That's how wisdom as well is built. Indeed, love conquers all. Keep it up, twins. Love is beautiful. We'll definitely buy the book. So much love and respect for Bokoko. Thank you for opening up to us. Oh yes, and I just posted the poster that you saw. It's on my Instagram, and I tagged the twins, so you can go and send them a DM so you can get the book. Gogo, as people, we need to learn and understand the message and stop criticism. I see lessons to be learned through these beautiful ladies.
Thank you.
Yeah. Re lebogetše thuto ya today, and to the sisters, le tshwaraneng fela yalo go ya go ile. So keep it that way forever and ever. Yeah, ke mopedi wa gešo o, ke a kwa gore a tše tšona. Wabo, yabona ukuthi ngimalithilinga licamaku umuntu omdala. So really, yabona, mina ngiyitoloki. Thank you so much. I think just before we go, as much as we think this can be us, this can never be me, it's them. Even the thought of, going into a polygamous relationship, for most of us, like, no, No, share my person. What would you say? What are the tips for women who are gonna go into a polygamous relationship? But bafuna ukungena la sokunenye indoda abamind. How do we do it in such a way that asi promote ubukenke? And what are the tips for men who says, Ish, Nami Azi, I want more than one because two is better than one. What is the tips you can give them or advice? How do we do it in a way that is done without the other hurting the other? In a way that love still remains.
Okay, I mean, I always say, even if we are in a polygamy relationship, it's about you. Uwefane kuzenze happy more than anything. Remember, if you have sister wives, angeke uphile impilo yalo munye, you're going to live your life. So as much, I always put ngithi lento iphethwe amadoda kakhulu. If indoda izokwazi ukurespecta indaba zikaMakhumalo izingazisi kaMaxulu, yonke into izoba right, because i-disrespect icala ngokuthi uthathe indaba zaka owami uyozisa ku-olwethu bese mosofika lapha so i-conflict start there. So you need ukuthi as indoda ukwazi ukuthi menguMakhumalo ngi-concentrate kuMakhumalo, mengusibeko ngibheka usibeko, so that yonke into izobhalance and know how to balance things. Ungathathi lo munye, even if umamkhulu, but nalo munye umamncane, they just the same. You need to balance things so that umshado wakho ubukeke ube right. Ungathi because lo mdala uyozoloka athola izinto kakhulu. So because ukuthakathana qala khona lapho ukuthi why lo athola zonke izinto lo angatholi. So mina engayisho ukuthi there are things that are beyond our control. Kunezinye izinto as abantu besifazane that are beyond our control. If a man says I want a second wife or third wife, for me as no always beyond our control. Ezinye izinto zinesizathu why I need a second wife or a third wife. So I always say we need to accept things that are beyond our control. No babamkhulu bayenza bayiphila, they beyond control yabogogo bethu. So if it's beyond our control, then ayikho into esizoyenza. Because nasebhayibhilini ikhona. So if kumele yenzeke, we need to accept and move on. As long as uzoba nenhlonipho, good acceptable, then we are ready to go. But if there's no respect and yabona, I always say yonke into asizifundiseni ukuyenza ube humble and respect. Irrespect conquers everything. So things that are beyond our control, like in.
No, but I think you mentioned something important, respect, and people don't know how to do that. And that's why polygamy doesn't work now, is because men don't respect their wives. You know, they do it as it's a must. That time, Bantu, we don't even own an ironing board. We still are ironing Then you want to tell me about Mamngani, Haibo. You understand? We are staying in a shed, in a one-room house, and then Mamngani is gonna be where? How? We must be really realistic, because this is not for everyone. Not everyone is.
Yes, Coco. Polygamy, it's not for everyone. Like our first husband, he didn't know how to practice. Yeah. You know, that's why you see polygamy nowadays is fashioning. You must have a lot of money. Nakhona, to have that lot of money, our party, there's no respect. So there's the money, but there's no respect. But the gala gabuba abena yonke into, but akwazi ukuzothela abafazi bakhe ukuze lento isebenze kahle ibe nesimilo. And ipolygamy wawungavuka ekuseni ukuthi I want a second. No, the first azongena mele azi ukuthi I might get a second wife, because kuna 1, 2, 3 ngenze alight ukuthi wena in the next future kungaba khona omunye umfazi omthatha, hayi ngoba sobona bani nawe ufuna ungena ku trending because ufuna ukushaya ngama twins. Azisebenzi, because sihamba ngama-trends. Lokhu akudala la bewangekho ama-trends, bewahamba ne-calling. Yonke into, wonke umuntu unobizo lwakhe. And not all of us esizoba nobizo. There are certain people who are selected in heaven. Say these people, they will practice polygamy and they will nail it because irrespect nothando kuzoba izinto ezihamba phambili.
No, that's very true. You're right. It's not about the money. There's so much more that goes into it. You can't wake up. You must, during the dating phase, that this is what you need to understand. And if things become beyond your control, you must go to your wife, because a lot of times people want us to accept second wives who've been side chicks for years. And now the side chicks are like, I'm going, or I'm going to tell your wife, you've been promising me. You know, so, and like you say, that's why also witchcraft became so rife, is because men know how to navigate this polygamous thing, or it was really not their calling. Because when you are not called for something, taking on which is not yours, it's going to be actually very difficult for you to manage. My husband says this, which is also a calling given too early becomes a burden and not a blessing. And I just want to say to people, like, taking on a calling that is not yours, responding to a call that is not meant for you, becomes a burden than a blessing. Because my understanding is that polygamy is meant to add value, not add burdens, and not add curses, and not add darkness. We were adding for expansion, for blessings, for growth, you know. So, and when that does not happen, then it becomes a problem. Because I think also some women, I was invited in a polygamous relationship when I separated Nomkud. And I think people can sometimes do it because they are excited, or they see this woman is good, but they have not dealt with their own issues of self-worth. You can't get into a polygamous relationship and agree to it if you already doubt if you are worthy enough, you know, if you are lovable enough, because those things, the minute the other wife comes in, it's gonna be a competition. And we're gonna now start flying nights. Well, actually, we don't fly with brooms now. We fly with 13-inch whips, you know, and stilettos and red bottoms and LV bags to go get Mutiga Gogo Dineo, so we can do things to, you know, this man, so that this man can only pega menangeto, which is really what destroys families and homes. And this is what also destroys our cultural practices and continuously, you know, perpetuate the stereotypes about African culture is so primitive, it doesn't evolve. Culture always evolves. People actually abuse culture for self-benefit, but culture is meant for the preservation of the community, not just for me. And you guys are a community, your kids are a community. So when you went into it, you understood that it's about us, not me. And may you continue in your us journey. May uNkulunkulu nabaphansi banibusise kwande la nithathe khona, nihambe ndlondlobale njengenhlabathi zaselwandle, nibe indumandumane ezizweni. Noma ukuthi ubani ukhona or akekho, ubizo lwenu, no one can take it away from you. It's your shine, it's your star. No one can dim it. They can only make it shine brighter. And if people have a problem with it, we shall buy them G glasses, so that they can handle the shine, right? Thank you so much, tribe members. Until next week, when we are here, thank you. Thank you so much. Ngakhuluma nani ukuze yabona sesi over an hour, because it's just, and I see the longer we get, the more passionate you get, the more excited we get. I hope maybe next time we can go think about what I told you about, how to be in better sibling relationships and how you guys resolve your fights. Maybe that's the next conversation. You can tell us how you do that. You know, besides the cherry on top, but no, this is how we see Zwana and Miss Kinga. This is how we resolve it, and this is how we don't allow other people or the third party to come in between us.
Thank you so much for inviting us.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We are honored.
I'm the one who's honored. Such wisdom, such greatness. Yeah, ask who's this person?
I go kusasemncane. Usasomntwana, usamprotector. The lifeline.
No, owamungaythi simlethe kugogo, ugogo azomqinisa ukhaya.
Okay.
Hayi, angifuni loyo. I'm very curious about lo ntshela ukuthi you must separate.
Oh, okay. Okay, now
Yabona bafuna lo.
Bona bafuna lo. No, sizokutshela gogo.
Okay, ngiyabonga. Good night and
Sibonga
goodbye.
thina gogo. Bye.
Oh, tribe, that was so insightful. I hope you can like, share with others. It was a fun, casual, but very informative session tonight. Remember to send me DMs on topics that you would like me to cover. Yeah, I'm realizing that actually I've done a lot, but there's still a lot to be done. But it's up to you what you want, my tribe. We shall do as you want. Thank you everyone for tuning in. It's a wrap and good night. But remember, South Africans and those who are in Africa who've got DSTV channel 157, Moja Love every Monday, where we have real conversations with real people. And you do not want to miss this coming Monday. It's going to be lit. Thank you. Good night.